to the circle. Man, hold on. Let me do something. Let's cut off some lights here. Let's get some real lights on here. Let's get some real lights up on here. How y'all doing? Checking out. Welcome to the Lawyer Henderson Show. We are on, man. We are on. Today we're talking about butt-broken Negroes versus white supremacy's Trojan horses. I hope y'all had a wonderful day. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button. We're talking today about white supremacy's Trojan horses. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button. Welcome to the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. All right, here we go. And y'all come on in, come on in. Let's see. 516-418-5867 is the number to call in. Today we're talking about butt-broken Negroes versus white supremacy's Trojan horses. And we got a lot of butt-broken Negroes who basically is trying to get in white supremacy's line of saying, I'm the next Negro that will be able to help you fool and trick the masses of Black people. And it is not working. They're upset. They're trying to figure out what to do now. We're out here asking, demanding, not asking, we're demanding. We're demanding our tangibles. And they're still trying to trot out butt-broken Negroes on us, and it's not working. Now, to get us started, I'm going to play something that I know that you all are familiar with. Came out, I think, about 3 or 4 months ago. It was Kanye West when he was calling himself running for president. And I don't. That's basically. Remember that happened around what? It was June or July, where Kanye West was calling himself at a political rally and crying and breaking down and being so much. I don't know. Anyway, he was basically crying in front of all these white folks and got this bulletproof vest on that says security, and then got this crazy ass haircut. We reported on that, but I know we talked about this already. But that lead us into our discussion. We talked about yesterday and the day before. I think it was on Tuesday. We might have talked about it. Well, we talked about Van Jones. Remember, he broke down talking after Joe Biden won the presidency. We're talking about butt broken Negroes today. You've seen, of course, Roland Martin, Roly Poly Martin. He was out there crying because he's seen a lot of Black folks out there. They were voting, and that brought tears to his eyes. Okay, so we talked there about white supremacy's Trojan horses as well. And of course, we've always taught you in the black media that there's two arms of white supremacy. There's the left arm and the right arm. And we also taught you that Nellie Fuller taught us that white supremacy, when they get finished using their tools, they break them. They break their tools. You got Simone Sanders, Mamie Sanders, who's been out here for a very long time. Remember, out of college, they basically prepped her out of college to get on this Democratic ticket. And remember, she told black men we should have shut up. And then when she was on, I think it was MSNBC or some other station, some white dude told her to shut up, and she wrote a book about it. So you got a lot of these butt-broken Negroes out here and these Trojan horses. Amanda Seal, Roland Martin, I just mentioned, Barkari Sellers, Lonnie Love, Angela Ride. You got a lot of these Negroes out here. Candace Owens, Andrew Gilliam, who was found in some hotel. Some white boy breaking him like Don Lemon. White boys having sex with these butt-broken Negroes. You see this type of just destruction of black men. This type of destruction of bringing down the black family. Because all we're seeing on TV is these butt-broken Negroes. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you something about Johnathan Capehart. It was Johnathan Capehart who says, no, black people don't need reparations. You see, he's up here married to this white man. And Johnathan Capehart said, black folks don't want reparations. No. Black folks want an apology for slavery. And he behind closed doors kissing on white men, married to a white man. See, this is what we're talking about. Why do these people always get the limelight? And why is it that they are the only ones who can go before the white supremacist media and get publicity? You got to answer that question. That's a very important question. These bought and paid for Negroes who's been out here carrying water for white supremacy, they have always been butt broken. Let me make sure my camera is not working on my YouTube page. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure we got that correct. Camera on my YouTube page is tripping. Okay. All right, so these butt broken Negroes and Beto O'Rourke, butt broke Angela, it says Beto O'Rourke buck breaks Andrew Gilliam. Remember, Andrew Gilliam was found in a hotel room with meth. And, back like a month or so ago, they was trying to figure out, well, what's going on, Andrew? You got a wife. You got some kids, And it's like, butt-broken Negroes have always been used by the white supremacist system here. So Kanye West brings us to the butt-broken Negroes. See, this is the reason why it's hard for black women to find black men, because you got a lot of butt-broken Negroes. In a sense, then, I'm not talking about, I understand that we just don't want to argue with women. I understand it. That's different. But these butt-broken Negroes who comes on television and trying to speak for black folks, but then behind closed doors, they're married to Zaddy, they are bed wenches and stuff like that, like Candace Owens. We cannot trust them to do our bidding. It's just like these clowns that they sent up there to Washington last year to talk about reparations. See, white people and their black bootlegs know how to pick and choose these Negroes who are not going to confront them on policy. Okay? But Mamie Simone Sanders, she just wrote a book that was just released May 18, 2021, talking about, no, you shut up. speaking truth to power and reclaiming America, which is supposed to be on sale on May the 18th, 2021. And Congresswoman Maxine Waters basically gave her what is described as some type of, I guess, advertisement and voice as far as trying to say that her book is somehow going to be catching for the masses. It was Congresswoman Maxine Waters in the book that says Simone honest and profound reflection on standing up and speaking out is sure to inspire young people across the country to become the change agents the world need. Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Really, Maxine Waters. You see how the black so-called elitists, along with the black middle class, these bootlicking Negroes, all of them is a part of white supremacy's Trojan horse campaign. They are all in cahoots with white mommy and white daddy so that the black community stay in a segmented labor market. You see, these bootlicking Negroes who's been slurping the shoes of white supremacy's boots, their job is to basically keep the black people thinking that there's progress made if we vote for the Democrats. And so this book that Simone Mamie Sanders is coming out with is going to be claiming that she basically have been out here telling white men to shut up, especially older white men, when that's not the case. Her whole situation is was when she was on news and when she was at the white media was telling black men to shut up. Okay, all of a sudden her book is now saying that she was telling white men to shut up, and Harper and Collins, publisher who is going to release her book here next year, suggests that many people, most notably white older men, Sanders wrote, may try to stop Simone Sanders from speaking up and out. But Simone will not shut up, and neither should you. And this inspiring call to action, Simone tells stories from her own life of not shutting up alone loud young revolutionaries who came before her to help you find your authentic voice and use it to your advantage, to fight ideological battles more effectively, and to resist those who try to silence you. Simone Sanders. We are all growers, masterminds, artists, entrepreneurs. We are in the change agent we have been waiting for. Okay? It is us, and the time is right now. I know you're wondering, but how? We don't have all the answers. Simone is the first to admit we're all winging it one way or another. But at this point, we're out there doing it. So get started. Open your mouth and start talking loudly. Loudly. Now you see, if you looked at it, we showed this picture. We're not going to show it again. Where when this girl was in college, we showed how she looked like the typical college student graduating. This woman had long hair. She was basically, I guess she was at her prime. And they were basically have already recruited this woman to be a part of the Democratic ticket. And growing, and molding her to become a loud mouthpiece for white males in the Democratic Party. As you've seen her on stage with Bill Clinton, seeing that she basically was a spokesman for, what's this man name? Bernie Sanders. And now she's able to get all of these, interviews and be correspondents, and now was helping Joe Biden. See, they try to pretend like Joe Biden really won this election. And so therefore they're trying to say that, oh, yeah, see, black folks came out and did this. This worked. You see, I told you all we have to do is disrespect black people and they'll show up. Although that the numbers are not adding up here. The numbers are not adding up, folks. Sorry. Because black men, most of us, we stayed home. We didn't vote for no Democrats. We didn't vote at all. We didn't vote for Republicans either. So it's almost like they stole the election, threw a lot of these votes away, and they're going to try to say that black folks came out to help. And if that was the case, then why didn't Trump win then? Because there's more Hispanics now in the country, I think, is eligible to vote now, along with these white people who basically said that they want to get rid of Trump. We didn't hear anything about how the Hispanics contribute into a way when they almost all voted for the Republicans. And so did 20%, 35%, 20% of black men. So it's something fishy that was going on about this election. But of course, that's not what we on today. We're talking about butt-broken Negroes versus white supremacy's Trojan horses. And Johnathan Capehart, or however you say his name, married to his white boyfriend, is going to try to say that, oh, black people don't need reparations. Black folks don't need reparations. What black folks need is an apology, That's all that black folks want is an apology. We don't need anything else. This is what we're up against here, ladies and gentlemen. And we got to be able to understand what's going on in this country and why we have to shut these bought and paid for Negroes down. These bootlicking Negroes who's been carrying water for white power, they're the reason why we are in trouble today. All right. Let's go to the phone lines. Thanks to all of y'all here who is on Instagram, who's listening live to the Lawyer Henderson show. Area code 305. You're live with Lawyer Henderson. Hey, how you doing?
Right. So what point do you want me to talk on?
Okay, so we got these butt-broken Negroes. Okay, yeah, so we got these butt-broken Negroes. And we got these Trojan horses who thinking that they're going to do
the difference in your opinion?
Well, there's not a difference, but I will say that the butt-broken Negroes is wanting more of sympathy from white supremacy and want to be acknowledged by the white power structure. And then the Trojan horses are coming in and say, well, he's a crybaby. Black people are not going to listen to him. Let me do it, master. I can do it better. I think that's almost a difference, but what say you?
So what's the question?
I say, we're talking about these butt-broken Negroes. So what I'm going to ask you, did you listen to see Van Jones on CNN break down when they announced Biden winning? Did you see that?
I saw it.
Okay, well, let me ask you, what do you think about that as a black woman seeing a black man crying on CNN? What do you think about that?
You want me to be honest or you want me to sugarcoat it?
I want to be honest.
Dude, what you want me to do? You want me to give you a PG-13?
My show is never PG-13. I feel offended now. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So, well, what Van Jones did is no different than what the average black man does every single day.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is that his is public, and some people, publicize their coonery, and other people, depending on the level of what they're trying to do,
mm-hmm.
Their coonery is heightened or suppressed. Like I said, depending on the environment, depending on how much money they're making, depending on the job that they're doing, depending on the people that they're around. So Van Jones did nothing any different than what most black men do
Wow. So every black man.
So for me, it wasn't a surprise.
Whoa. So how many? I mean, what percentage of black men are you talking about? Almost all of us, or just go ahead and let it on out of there. Let it on out.
Out of what numerical percentage?
Yeah, I mean, out of all of Black America, what percentage are you saying that do that?
So out of 100%, about 90% of black men coon every day.
Wow.
And I mean, but you have to, because if you working within a system that you didn't create and that you don't own, and you don't really own your own life, and you don't really know how to, you don't know, if you have no knowledge of self, the only thing that you can do is see the white man as your superiors. So for black men to try to act like, that's something that's out of the norm for them, these mothers is lying. Most black men do that every day. Most black men listen to white folks every day. Most black men bow to the white man and his way of living, thinking, acting every single day. It's just some people's levels of doing it is more extreme than others. Like I say, depending on the type of money that you're making or the environment that you're around. But black men do that every day. Out of 90%.
Okay, hold on. Right.
But most black men don't know the truth.
Okay, hold on that thought. Now I'm going to bring on another caller, and we're going to have some respectful dialogue. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Area code 647, and I think this is my boy Patrick from Canada. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is Patrick.
Hey, Patrick, what's going on, man? How's the weather down? And hold on, Deity is online. Say hello to Deity.
Hello, Deity.
All right, so Patrick. Patrick, I was going to ask you, how is the weather out there in Canada?
The weather's okay. I was home. I was back in the U.S. for a little bit, but back here now it's kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of cold. It's probably about 40s.
Okay.
30s at night, maybe down to 35 at night and 40s during the day.
Oh, okay.
40, maybe 50 during the day.
All right. So, what say you on this subject? We're talking about butt-broken Negroes versus white supremacy's Trojan horses. Any thoughts about why Van Jones was breaking down crying on CNN last week or this week or whenever it came on?
I just have a couple things to say. I mean, first, I heard about it, but I didn't see it. And
okay.
I didn't see it. We see that quite a bit on TV these days. So somebody receiving an award. I mean, the tears just start going down. It's like, dude, like everybody's watching on TV. Stand up like a man and speak, right? But
right.
That's just what goes on. But I think what the problem with today is not like it was before, like social media and the internet. You would get people out here doing things, but it would in no way reflect on the rest of the community. So if you have crime in the community, if you go into any community, any of our communities that are supposed to be bad, there's crime rich. If you go there during the day and just hang out, what do you see? You see people going to work in the morning. You see people going to the grocery store. The vast majority of the people in the neighborhood, it could be, thousands of, tens of thousands in a certain area, Harlem or whatever. But 25 criminals can make the place seem like it's a crime-ridden area. And that's kind of like it is now on social media. You can get 50 people on Twitter to keep tweeting, and it seems like it's 100,000. While most everybody is not saying something, they can take a position and it can blow it and magnify it. So what happens is you get these guys on TV, and it magnifies it because they're on TV and they're on social media and they're crying and they're doing whatever, and it magnifies it. It makes it seem like it's everybody. But if you go in the neighborhood and you go in a barbershop and you go to a place of work and you talk to people, black men and women, they're just like you.
Right.
For the most part. I mean, it's just like everybody else. Everybody's trying to, figure out what's going on and get ahead and that kind of thing. Trying to take care of children and family and that kind of thing. That's the vast majority of it. But when we get these people, because they're on media, it magnifies it and it makes people think that that's more of us doing these things than what there is.
Right. They make it seem like this is the typical black man that's doing this. And I basically see. Here's the thing: you get a lot of people who say that, oh yes, we're coward, we're seeing this, but white people are only in control because black men are allowing them to be. Here's the thing: I could basically sit up here and beat up a white boy all the time, just real quick, without guns, knives, or whatever. But the ideal I think that we're trying to do is we're trying to say to ourselves, okay, we can make America great and be this and work together. But there's other black folks who say, it's not working. We're in a system of oppression, white supremacy. It will never work. We got to separate. Do you think that even in the sense of having Joe Biden as the president now, that is black folks going to be all right now under white supremacy? Because I saw a lot of black folks yelling and screaming and hollering because this man won. Is that going to help us now that we have a liberal in office?
I think what happens is you're seeing people who have been bought into the system, so they're in the matrix. So of course they're going to yell.
Right.
Of course they're going to be happy. They're in the matrix. Mentally, they're gone. And I don't think personally that we should look at them in a negative way. They're victims,
right,
of the system. They're victims of the system, and we have to just continue on and find a way to do that without trying to tear down, because that doesn't even do anything.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
Right.
I see people tearing down people for doing it. Is it embarrassing? Yes. I mean, is it annoying? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it ridiculous? It may be all of those things, but we have to resist the urge to start hating them for their victimization.
Absolutely.
And we have to wait to just move on, because if you can change things, people will come. A lot of people will come around, but you have to provide them an alternative.
Okay.
So you have to provide an alternative way of doing things. So you have, on one hand, you have people that are fully bought into the system. They're in the matrix. They can't even see their way out. They don't even realize they're in it.
Right.
You have those people. But then you have another set of people who claim to be awake, and they claim to be, conscious. But what's done is talk. They talk.
Right. It's all about just. You're great.
But there's no tangible.
Right.
There's nothing that has been built that we can look at and say, okay,
absolutely,
this is an alternative to the system. And so now the people that are in the matrix can look and at least compare. Right. Say, okay, these people, this school over here, black people, these kids are excelling, but this public school over here is in disarray. There's not really much learning going on.
Absolutely.
There's learning of any value. So they can say, okay, maybe I'll try that for my child.
Right.
Even though they're in the matrix, they may start to make different choices if they have alternatives.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I think.
That's a great point. We talked about this all the time on the show, that the conscious people, they'll say, oh, white supremacy exists and all this, but they are not giving black people the alternative. Hold on. Let me finish this point, and then you come in. Yeah, they're not basically saying, okay, this is going to be the alternative. Like you got Dr. Umar Johnson. He talked about a school. Okay, a school is going to be alternative for who? Just for our kids? What else are we going to do? We're still in the system of white supremacy. So a school is not going to basically do all the work. What else do you have in store for us? But anyway, go ahead with your thoughts, DTL, what you think about this whole situation. Deity, are you still there? Hello? All right. So here we go. All right, 516-418-5867. That's the number to call in. Patrick, you still there?
Still here.
Okay, all right. Deity, are you online or no? Okay. All right, so Patrick, let me ask you another question. You said that you're back in the States, right?
Well, no, not now. I'm back in Canada right now.
Oh, okay. All right. How was the reaction? How was the reaction in Canada about Joe Biden winning?
What I try to do is I try to stay away from the news as much as possible, but it's kind of hard to stay away from this story when you're out and you're seeing people. I think it was kind of that same. It was for a lot of people. It was kind of the same reaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was the same reaction here that was there. However, what happened was not too long ago there was a leak, an email leak from one of the government officials in the province of Ontario, saying that there was a meeting with the federal government and their plans for this COVID thing.
Right.
And I won't go into it too much, but it's absolutely chilling.
Wow.
They're talking about quarantine centers, isolation centers. I mean, people up here are starting to ask some real questions like, what in the hell is going on?
Well, yeah, because go ahead. I'm sorry.
While people are distracted on this whole election thing, there are plans being made behind the scenes, and this one just happened to pop out into the public. And my thing is that, yes, there was the same reaction from a lot of people, but they're quickly getting a wake-up call on what it really means. So, yes, there was a change. There might be a change in the presidency in the U.S., but there may be some unintended consequences from this election that a lot of people are not seeing because they don't see the game that's being played.
Absolutely.
And I think these people in the United States are, all the Americans are about to get a taste.
Right.
Of what this.
Yeah.
This is not to say that the last administration was horrible, and everybody knows that Trump was just he should have been president.
Yeah.
And all of that.
Absolutely.
But there's some dynamics here that it goes a little bit deeper. You got to go deeper into what's going on in this world, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I heard about the vaccine. They're gonna try to start giving people, and a lot of people are not woke to the fact that these doctors like Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates, they're basically behind this vaccine. Where it was a woman who came on, and one of the sisters I listened to on YouTube myself, she's very, very pro-black. She basically let us look at a video that shows that it's this doctor that talked about what they're trying to give people. They're trying to put these vaccines into our bodies so they can control us, get our information, and things of that nature. So we're headed to a real, real scary situation here. And it's like, wow. But Deity, you back here on the line? Hello? All right, so yeah, so what do you? So Patrick, have you heard about the vaccine?
Yeah, we've heard about the vaccine. That's one of the things that came out in the email was that the people that apparently there was a big argument because the government was saying the people that the plans are the people that refuse to take it. That's who the isolation centers are going to be for.
Right.
So one of the things that I think Trump afforded people who are awake was time.
Right.
Because we figured he would get in there disrupting with his buffoonery.
Right.
And they couldn't really get done what they wanted to get done.
Absolutely.
But now that he's gone, it's full speed ahead, and now you got no more time.
Right.
If you want to save your money so that you can get out area so you can plant your food and so you can live.
Yeah, it really
Time
is.
is up.
It's really going to get hectic. Yeah, you're right about that. Okay, let's take. Okay, I think Deity is back on the line. Deity, you there?
Hey, I'm here. Yeah, no, I was just letting y'all talk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had asked you.
Kind of dozed off a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I asked you a question about this. What do you think about these vaccines? What do you think that white supremacy is up to with these vaccines? Do you have any thoughts on that?
What do I think they're up to with the vaccines?
Yeah.
Is that really? I mean, the same thing that they're up to with everything when it comes to anybody that's not them. I mean, see, what I think again, I think that Black people have a problem with understanding that we're not. We're all human thing. It's not how white people think. They're thinking of dominating, and they're thinking about self-preservation, and they're thinking about survival. And you cannot really survive or survive properly if your racial group is not the racial group that's in control.
Right.
And for whatever reason or another, it just seems as though Black people just don't get it. I don't understand where the retardation or the lack of self-preservation, the thought of I don't get it. I don't get where that's such a difficult thing for people to grasp the process about self-preservation, and what causes you to survive or die off is the very same thing that causes your opposition to live. We're genetically different, and therefore what we need in order to survive is different. And so if I feel as though you're a threat to my survival, then I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to get you out. I don't see why Black people don't get that. I don't see how is that not right?
Right. You made a point last time that the white man is doing what he's supposed to do. You as far as being in a jungle and he's trying to survive and stuff, and basically the only way he know how to do is just to say, we got to attack and kill these niggas. We have to do everything that we can in order to survive. So he is acting the way he should be acting, in your opinion. I think you said that last time.
Yeah. I said earlier, I didn't understand why Black people consider biracial people Black, because what a biracial person is nothing more. The reason why white people call biracial people Black is because they need that. They need, first and foremost, they can't mess up their genes, because a biracial person is not a white person, but it's neither a Black person either. So you have Black people that will mess up their gene pool and kill themselves off by saying that biracial people are Black. There's a mental retardation. Black people are mentally retarded.
Wow.
Physical is strong, but something is wrong with the mind. The mind is mush. Like these white people see Black people and they're wondering, why is it that you're not knocking our fucking heads off? Wow. They know what they would be doing. They know what they are doing. So it's like these people. I don't know.
All right. Cool. All right. So, Patrick, you still there? Patrick?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Okay, you ain't went to sleep on me. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Okay. So what? What did you say? I'm sorry. What did you...
holding a conversation. So, do you want to? And I don't want to leave anybody out. But do you want to respond to us? Have any response to what I said?
Oh, are you asking me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, your name is Patrick.
Yeah, I didn't know whether you were talking to the host or me. Like I said, I think I addressed this a minute ago. Like, I understand. First of all, yes, there are people that are in the matrix. They fully bought into the system, and they're victimized. And I think we can talk about our own people as much as we want. I just don't know how that's constructive. I think there are some people that are more aware. There are some people that are less aware. However, there's one thing has not happened. None of us has solved the problem.
Absolutely.
Not one of us.
Right.
There's not one black person on this planet that has solved. No matter how woke they are, they have not solved the problem. So we need.
It's not about what I think that the people, and I heard you say it earlier, and I think again the mental retardation again and the lack of strength is that we as not we, but the so-called black people who are not strong, who are victims of, who are mentally victims of white supremacy. We're all physically and mentally victims of it. Who are mentally victims, they tend to think that it is on the back of one person. Like, just because the person knows the truth and that they're able to see the truth does not mean that they can do anything if the rest of their racial group is not on board, or if the rest of their
that's okay. Yeah, we agree. That's something that we do agree with. That is something that we agree with. With y'all. Yeah, we agree with that.
Right, so when the woke people are supposed to do something, you can't do anything if the majority of your people are on the opposing end.
Absolutely. Okay.
They have done a study.
Go ahead.
And with any revolution, they have found that 3.5% of any group or population are the ones who kick it off and get it going.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it will never be everybody.
Absolutely.
That won't ever happen.
That will not. Yeah.
So that's why I said the majority of the so-called black race. The majority of the so-called black
Right.
race.
Right. Let hold on. Let me wait. Stop. Let me cut in right quick. I wanted to hold on. All right. So my topic was butt broken Negroes versus white supremacy's Trojan horse. I don't want us to get off the subject here, but I don't know how we got on the butt. But hold on. Yeah, and he answered the question, but let me ask you. We're gonna basically expound on this in just a moment. But where we're gonna hold on now. So we understand that a lot of black people are just not there as far as conscious wise, and we've talked about this over and over again. Okay, we have to deal with that issue. Okay, so that's the reason why I have this show. My show is about trying to see that we understand that there's a lot of black folks who's not woke. They're just not there yet. So how do we get them there? And what is the step from the conscious community to get us there? Because I just gave an example about Dr. Umar Johnson. I mean, he's basically talking to people, but he does not have. But his solution is to give us a school. So I'm trying to figure out, if we got all of these conscious people, what is their remedy about getting us there? And it doesn't matter how woke you are. We have not came to that resolution. We have not gotten our people there. We can argue that all day, and we are still not going to be there right now until everybody, well, not everybody, but enough people get us there. So I want us to have a great dialogue as far as talking these things out instead of just yelling over each other. All right, so Patrick, go ahead. I want you to.
I totally agree. So we need some structure. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Patrick.
No, I'm just listening. I mean, I agree with you that there's something needs to be done, and there are a lot of people that are doing something, what they can. But I think what needs to happen is there needs to be really discussed meetings.
Okay.
Like this meetings with an agenda, and maybe they need to happen with groups all across the nation. But we need to have meetings to start ferreting this out.
Okay.
Before this, this is a thinking man's war.
Right. Absolutely.
And this is not before anything physical. This is a thinking man's war.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to. There has to be meetings to figure out, and maybe we can dissect these things into something like Neely Fuller's, areas of people activity.
Absolutely.
Entertainment, education, economics, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, and I would add health to that. But and then to start breaking it down and start really trying to figure out a way forward. But it's going to have to be some exhaustive meetings really in-depth analysis and strategy being built. But it's got to start, and hopefully it is started. It has started somewhere. I just don't know. But I really hope it's going to start in earnest.
Right, and I respect that point. I respect that point.
Okay, so back to the other day, or you go. Okay.
No. Hold on. I respect that point because I think that's one thing that we should be able to understand is that everyone recognize that we have a problem, but we basically is disagreeing on the solution of how we get there. So okay, so Deity, what say you in response to what Patrick believed as far as looking at Neely Fuller's route of the 9 areas of activity?
Well, first, since you're the host, I'm going to respond to you, and then I'll respond to his statement. But so to respond to your question about what to do and all of that, when a person becomes aware, I mean, when you're genuinely aware and you're not a coon, you're not broken mentally. You become aware of the fact that the majority of your race is just that, coons and broken.
Right.
So I can't tell everybody else how to think, but I know for me, I'm not thinking about, well, what is it that the rest of the Black people are going to do in order to get us out of any type of oppression? I mean, that's just not even, that's not realistic. I mean, that's not something that, once you become aware, you understand that the majority of your race is just not on that for the reasons, for years of oppression and slavery and being broken down and brutalized and mentally drained. And, most people are tired due to having that slave gene in them. So to sit there for me to say, well, what is Black people going to do? That means that I'm no different from them. So I don't have that because I understand my oppressor, but I understand the oppressed at the same time. So I wouldn't even ask that question. That's neither here nor there. Because what would have to happen with understanding the circumstance that we're in is that you would have to work on yourself first. And once you have the mindset that you have, then you know how to move around your enemies. When you understand who you are, you know how to move around your enemies. And you understand that, unfortunately, a lot of Black people are your enemy because a lot of Black people have the mindset of a white person, and which has been ingrained in them. So that's just what it is. Now, to respond to his statement, I don't look at one person because they're no longer here or because they've been given this name as a scholar or whatever. I don't need to look at a book. I don't need to look at a Black person to tell me what we need to do because I'm a Black person and I live in my Black skin every day. So I don't need to listen to a Neely Fuller. I don't need to listen to a Stokely Carmichael. However, I can relate to these people because we're Black, but I don't need nobody to teach me how to be Black and what I need to do. I think, again, that goes back to Black people looking for revolutionaries because it's really not in them. You know what I'm saying? And we like to hear, when we don't really know the truth, we tend to, we tend to talk about other people. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nobody to tell me and to teach me how to move in a system as a Black person, and I'm a Black person. That means that my mind ain't all the way Black. That means that somewhere in me, I know I'm
hold on. No, that's...
I'm responding.
Go ahead. Okay, you have to wrap it up so I can respond.
In me, I know that I'm a coon. That means that somewhere in me, I know that I'm not really on what it is that I'm talking about. And the only time a person may recognize that is when somebody like me step in their chest and be like, what are you doing? So I don't need to talk about Malcolm X to sound more real. I don't need to talk about Neely Fuller Jr. I don't need to read a book on how to be Black and how to move around my enemy. That's crazy.
No, that's an opinion. That's an opinion. All right, so yeah, we heard both of y'all. We heard both of y'all opinions on the issue here. Okay, because it's not a fact. A lot of people have look at their history and the people within their history, and look at battles before to determine certain types of realities of what they're facing today. That's what history and culture teaches us. But like I said, everyone's opinion will be respected on the show. Also, let me. But I think Patrick, let's get back on the subject at hand. Why do you think that people like Van Jones and Roland Martin will break down in front of these commentators are on TV? What do you think that they're trying to do here?
I think there were well, let's stop first. First of all, I didn't bring up Nancy Fuller to bring up either. Matter of fact, Fuller is the person.
Yeah.
I only brought up people activity as a way to break down the problem. I just think that similar to his people activity list to break down the problem, break it down anybody's mind.
Absolutely.
So I wasn't bringing him up. He didn't even speak. So, and I mean, so I just want to say that. I think he misunderstood what I said. But as far as Van Jones is concerned, I mean, we know what they're doing. We know what they're doing. We know who, and we know guys like them. All these guys.
Who are they?
I think when they come out and they do these things,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of attention paid. I don't really watch that stuff. I don't really pay attention to it. Really, you know, while that was going on, you know, I have a nonprofit partner of mine. We were helping a black girl get funding for her act, and she got no funding for it, right?
Right.
We have a nonprofit that helps aspiring entrepreneurs build their business. And we use all of our resources, our experience, and stuff to help people for free. So, I mean, yeah, I understand what it is. I understand what those media outlets are.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that, yes, it's another example of, you know, these kind of things. But I think, you know, while something watches and pay attention to it, we can't pay too much attention because it's going to happen all the time. So we're always not watching and analyzing that kind of thing. When we really should be analyzing solutions to try to take down like supremacy, then I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I understand what CNN is, but I just think that every time it happens, I was going to talk about black men, we watch it and we comment, but, you know, it's like, we shouldn't be surprised at this. Mm-hmm. This is what it is. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work. So, Van Jones is, and these other guys are, and, you know, I really try to pay attention to that. Think about it.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they bring them on television, and you know, because they want to basically tell other black men that this is how you get attention from white daddy and white mommy. This is how you basically get that attention from us, and they bring them on news to show that imagery, you know, which is very saddening. It's almost like, you know, it's, you know, this whipping. It's not working here. All right, so hello.
Okay.
All right, so let's.
Yeah, I'm here. Did you call me or were you talking?
Yeah, go ahead. I want you to respond.
Oh, you told me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know how you operate in your show. I don't know how you pass it amongst the guests. So is it my go or?
Yeah, go ahead, Dante.
Oh, okay. So in regards to Van Jones, I mean, he's no different. I told you 90% of black men are coons. I mean, it's a different level. Black men do that every day. They do that every day, all day. They do that in the hood. They do it in the corporate sector. They do it. It doesn't matter where they at. Again, you're in another man's system. You're going to have to show that you're effeminate in some kind of way. You cannot be a masculine black man in the system of white supremacy around white people. There's no such thing as a true black man. Either you're going to be a baby boy, which is usually the ones in the hood, or you're going to be a stepper fetch Sambo, you know, yes, a master boss, tap dance type guy in the corporate sector. So either way it goes, the black man is not going to be a man if his only understanding of his of his environment is that he's in a system of white supremacy. Because you're saying that the system, the white supremacy system, is supreme over your living situation and your circumstances. So you understand that. And so if a black man understands that, then he understands that he's not a man. So Van Jones does not see any different than any other black man does on a regular basis when they get around white people.
Okay.
I mean, y'all should know that, y'all black men.
All right. Well, okay. Yeah. We're go ahead.
Can I?
No. Go. Yeah. Go ahead, Patrick. Respond.
And this is the thing that men know that women don't. So men, as we're fighters, as men, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know when we're outgunned. We know when we're outmanned. We know when we're in a situation where we do not have the advantage.
Right.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The Vietnamese, Viet Cong, they had a disadvantage against the American army.
Absolutely.
So but you not. I'll talk about you as a black man. Come on, now.
No, I am. See, this is far for women. I think the host understands. So I'm gonna.
This ain't got nothing to do with nothing about being.
Okay. Hold on. Hey, deity. You say.
In this system, I'm more of a man than you because the white man gives me more opportunities than you. So you're not a man. You're beneath me. You understand that, correct? Okay, go ahead.
All right. Let them finish. Let them finish, man.
Women think they're on top of the bed. That's another.
You're not a man in a white man's system. You're beneath the black woman. You're beneath the woman.
Okay.
No, I am because.
All right. Hey. Hold on. Wait.
I'm trying to integrate in this system.
Deity, let him finish. Let him finish.
So no, that's fine. That's
Okay,
fine.
go ahead.
That's fine. It's a dialogue. It's a dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dialogue. So we gotta say, go ahead. Glad you understand that. Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that as a man, we know.
Mm-hmm.
When we knock them up, we know whether the dude has the advantage or not. It has nothing because advantage, you can overcome people who have advantage.
Right.
The system has an advantage on all of us. Before you can defeat your enemy, you got to be realistic.
Right.
When you're outgunned and outmanned, you have to say, okay, I'm at a disadvantaged situation. Now, how am I going to get myself out of this? How am I going to strategize?
Absolutely.
And think my way out of this? And how think of my opponent?
Mm-hmm.
This happens all the time. And that's the way war is.
Absolutely. See,
so
yeah.
You're not going to have the advantage all the time.
Absolutely.
So if we say, okay, they're not in a supreme position right now, we can say that. We can say that.
Right.
But like I was a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
And when I boxed, when I was younger, I was boxing amateurs when I was really young. I knew when the dude had more rounds than me.
Give me another one of these.
And I knew what I had to do to make it up, right?
Right.
I knew he was in a superior position because he had, 3 rounds to my 2, right? Then he won.
Right.
So now I got to strategize how to get the position back. And that's all we're doing. So acknowledging.
So you just admitted your defeat. You just admitted your defeat.
Hold on.
And that's bad.
Hold on.
Nah, this is not you're
all right, hey, stop. Hold on right quick. Hold on. I had my guests. I had a guest. I had 2 guests on. Hold on. I had 2 guests on, a man and a female and a woman, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they spoke respectfully for each other. They were disagreeing, but they basically let each other finish.
And we're dialoguing as well. I mean.
Okay, but let him finish though. Let him finish.
Yeah, but there's no time limit. So
go ahead. Go ahead, Patrick.
So anybody, like most men understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
A fight, they understand fighting, physical fight. They understand when you're in a disadvantage.
Right.
When you're in a disadvantaged position, doesn't mean you lost.
Yeah.
You're still fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You got to change your strategy on how you do things.
Right.
Right.
Women talk before they fight. We don't. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk when we fight. We get.
Man in the white man system. Get to the point.
Okay.
Like, come on now.
Okay. Go ahead, Patrick.
Get back to it.
So none of us are, and this is another gender divide thing that we have to watch out for.
Okay.
Black
Get that homosexual talk out of here. Go ahead, because that's a white man's thing. Go ahead.
But the gender divide thing is real, because what they do is they pit black women against black men. It's just divide and conquer, something they've always done. And that's fine. But I think what's happening is a lot of people recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of black men and women recognize, because we got to fight together to get the system out.
Right.
To take the system down. It has to go down. So I'm glad, because people are now starting to see, and they're starting to talk. Black men and women are starting to kind of work, because we're side by side. We got to fight. You know?
Right.
In our own way. And I'm glad to see it. It's a great thing.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Is he done?
All right. So go ahead, dear, to your thoughts.
Okay. So what I'm saying, man, it's not a man in the white man system. There is no such thing as men warring when you are already the defeated opponent. Your ancestors are the reason why, to say that they did anything wrong. What I'm saying when I say that is the war had already ended. You are now the prisoner of the war that was done.
No. Let me stop you there. The war has not ended. The war has not ended.
You can't get triggered at the host.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on.
The war has not ended though, but go ahead.
Yeah, you can't get triggered at the host. Like, I know that he's saying what you got, because I'm not speaking on no cool shit right now. Not even a little bit.
Okay, but
the point of what I'm saying is that, so.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the point of what I'm saying is that as a black person, as a black man, once you are admitting that the white man is supreme over you, you are no longer a man, nor can you say what.
Nope. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't say that.
Let me finish.
He did not say that. But go ahead. Well, go ahead.
Like, come on, let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a man, and nor can you dictate what a man is when another man can control you, your women, and your children. You're not a man. You're less than a man. You're less than a woman than the actual woman. Now, when a man understands, when a black man understands, and a black woman understands that this system is not for them, and that everything that's in the system of white supremacy is not real, and that it came from a natural resource, then at that point, you are a man. Because you understand that everything that they have going on is not real. And therefore, although it may affect you to an extent, that at that point, it becomes a fight, because now you are standing in opposition to what is against you. You're not folding to it, nor are you claiming it to be supreme over you. So once a black man or a black woman claims that this system that they're living in is a system of white supremacy and has nothing that they can do about it, but try to look at another black person and say, well, what are we going to do? Then that means at that point you've admitted defeat, and you're not a man. And that's the reason why we have a lot of homosexual men or men with homosexual tendencies, because you are acting like a female and don't know how to not go back and forth with a female as a man. Men don't do that. Men are not going to go back and forth with their women, because their women will have no reason to go back and forth with them, because you are providing her with resources, and you're providing her with things to sustain herself and to make sure that her and her offspring survive. So when it's two people, man and woman, fighting for the same position, then that in of itself shows that the man is not a man, and you're not even you're like I said, you're less than a female, because at that point the white man can dictate who has the resources. And in this system, the white man provides the black woman with more resources than he provides the black man, intentionally, so that there's a dysfunction within the household, because a man is supposed to have more resources as far as financially and economically than his woman. That's how it's supposed to be, because the man has to build, which the woman should be okay with. But again, in this system, it's the woman building, because the white man is the one providing that for her. So, at that point, if a black man is sitting here complaining about white supremacy, and his woman is complaining about white supremacy, then you're no less than a bitch than a so-called person who will be considered a bitch. So at that point, the respect is lost. You can't sit here and fight with a woman about who's supreme in another man's system. If you ain't talking about having your own system, if you ain't talking about this system not for real, then at that point, there's nothing to talk to a woman about. You're a
Okay. All right. Let me jump. Hold on. Okay. It's okay.
And you want to be me.
All right. So here's again. Here is again. We respectfully disagree with certain things because I think as far as strategy, you do learn from history. You do learn from people who have basically seen the system for what it is as well. When men go to war, they strategize, they have maps, they have all kinds of things. They talk about what they've done. Excuse me. They're talking about what they've done in the past of how they defeat certain people. There's a book called Art of War. There's other types of things that basically is out there that men use all the time to basically win over. Okay. And we understand your point of view. We often basically agree with a lot of things you say. But like I've always said as the host, is that a lot of our people are not there yet. And, you know, it, we have to understand that this is why we dialogue. Patrick, let me ask you, do you think what do you think? What do we need to get there? To get there as far as having our own country, our own world, as because we are not men, as we've been told here countless of time. How do we get there to start our own world and our own country or whatever we call it? Is that what we're going for?
I think the system has to be taken down.
Okay.
So, that's what we is meant to be working on.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take it down. There's no other way to do it. Right?
Right.
The system has to come down.
And I would just let me interject though. Let me interject and I'll let you finish. Hold on, let me interject. Because I was going to say, I think that the elitists right now is provoking us to fight right now as men. Okay. And of course, it's going to be mostly men because we've seen in history that women has not fought as much as we have throughout wars. But let me ask you this. Go ahead.
Could you repeat it?
No, I was going to say that I think as far as what the white elitist is doing, I think that they're provoking us to fight. They're basically really with this with this forcing us to take this vaccine. I think they're forcing us to fight and get there at this position as far as now having to fight to overthrow the system. I think we're almost there right now. What say you about that? Mm-hmm.
Well, it's destabilization.
Yeah.
It's very old tactic. It's called destabilization.
Mm-hmm.
So you will find now, black people fighting over certain things. And it's like, that's not even important. I mean, online, whether they say they're a conscious community or not, that's what you'll see. Mm-hmm. Because they can interject into any conversation. Because now everything is digital.
Absolutely.
Right? Mm-hmm. So they can interject. So you will find that. But if you're savvy, you can recognize it.
Absolutely.
If you're savvy, you can recognize it.
Right.
And you just, you don't let it bother you. You keep on moving and keep on working.
Mm-hmm.
And what I will say is that the reason why I say it's a thinking man, mm-hmm. if you look around you, outside of nature, everything that you see around you has to be thought about first.
Absolutely.
Whether it's your car, whether it's your desk, whether it's your computer, someone had to think about and design it first.
Absolutely.
So you have to, if you're going to defeat the system, mm-hmm. there's going to be a lot of hours of that thing.
Absolutely.
Really breaking this down and analyzing and strategizing.
Right.
There's no way to get around it.
And that's
I don't know if you recognize this or not. Whenever
mm-hmm.
you start talking about stuff, when you say, okay, let's have a meeting on Thursday at 8 and let's break it down. Do you know how interested people get at that point?
Yeah. I talk.
Have you seen that happen?
Absolutely. I be trying to break it down to the women that basically I talk with, it's a strategy that you do. You just don't go out there and just start shooting fire. You got to have a plan there. You got to have some techniques, or you're going to cause yourself to get ambushed, by the system, and because they got more tools and more strategy than we do. So it's a talking I hear you. Hold on. So it's a talking mechanism first, and it's basically after that, that's when strategize and do what's needed. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna give y'all to some last thoughts, and then I'm gonna continue the show because I got about we'll be wrapping up here in a minute. I got some other things I'm gonna try to get done today, and so so Deity, your last thoughts on our conversation today, and then I'll hand it back over to Patrick for his final thoughts.
Okay, so I think that people, for whatever reason, I don't know what, black men don't even, because most black men have not been men, they can only go based off of the understanding of what manhood is when they look at other races of people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not those races of people, so you would have to understand that a war strategy for them is not going to be the same for you. So nobody is saying anything about, guns and weaponry because we already know that that's not your thing. And so, and like I said earlier, I think that people have to understand, and so you would have to figure what that is. I'm not going into that. But again, when you know self, you don't sit here and look for every black person around you to be your ally, because most black people don't have a black mind due to being enslaved. You're colonized. You're captured. You're not your own thinking person. And so once you become aware of that, you lose a bit of frustration and anger with black people to an extent, because you understand that most of their minds aren't their own. And so you would understand that part of the war is not having a colonized mind and winning that, and understanding that when you understand the system, you know how to move. You understand that this is not yours. They're in your land. They're on your land. So once you understand that, you understand that you're. So anyway, I said that already, so I'm not sure if that is saying it again would make any difference as far as understanding. But yeah, I mean, a woman can only rise as high as her man. So for people to keep talking about this, for a man to even keep talking about man, woman, again, it goes to show that the black man has been made to be effeminate. And most black men are raised by single black women. You know what I mean? The father isn't there, so most black men act like black women.
So what is your?
And most of these black women ain't about nothing.
Right. So what are your solution?
Don't ask me what my solution
what
is.
Is your? Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So let me let Patrick speak, and then let me wrap up, because I gotta wrap up the show. Go ahead, Patrick. Your final thoughts, sir.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good discussion, and I think this discussion on your show, maybe should be wide a little bit. With more people, I think this is a good discussion on all sides. The good points were made by everyone.
Right, absolutely.
But I just think that there needs to be a bit. I think we're at some level, we're moving in the right direction a little bit, and I just think that there needs to be focus and dedication.
Okay.
Focus and dedication from our people. A little bit more of that. So, yeah, that's my question.
All right. Well, I appreciate you both calling in today. I'm going to have to wrap up because I got some things to do myself here. But I want to thank both of you all calling in today. It was a great dialogue, and hopefully we'll do it again some other time. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Patrick. All right. So that's what it is. We're basically our conversation of butt-broken Negroes versus white supremacy's Trojan horses. Folks, we're already there, I think, as far as black people understanding the facts. Yes, you have a lot of other black folks who just not there, but we don't wait. We don't need to wait on them. We don't need to wait on them. We really don't. And the ideal of waiting on them is not going to basically do anything for us. We have to basically strategize. We have to basically we just can't go out there and just start shooting. You understand? There has to be strategy. There has to be talk. There has to be dialogue. And that's what my show presents. My show is not a show to just come on here and we just arguing about how feminine black men are or how black women are not supporting us. That's not the issue here. We recognize that we are under the system of white supremacy, but we have to be able to basically deal with it in a respectful way in dialogue. Sorry, Patrick, what was going on? You're back.
No, I'm just listening. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you had called it. Okay, let me put you back on the listening thing here. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, we have to do that. A lot of times, you do get women, specifically certain black women, who say that black men, we're not tough enough, we're not bold enough, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. The ideal is yes. Harriet Tubman had to tell these black men during the Underground Railroad, "You niggers better help me." You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't help me, then I'll shoot you, Negroes. You know what I'm saying? And I think our fear is that we're afraid of dying. Not all of us, though, because we do now have black men who is waking up in consciousness and consciously, and they're telling white folks now and all these other people, we're not afraid of dying anymore now. We got black men on that level right now. I know because I speak with them all the time. So to say that we are all just weak and just because we're not ready for the battle yet, that's foolish. That's foolish. We don't let white supremacy know our game plan when we in a battle and we in a war. No. White supremacy basically use intelligence. They got all kinds of satellites that they can hear this conversation. When I broke down like 5 or 6 years ago on a highway, didn't have no money and whatever, left my wallet at home. They basically said, "Okay, where are you on the highway?" They had a satellite that can zoom right in on my tag and say, "Okay, there you go." These people have Star Wars ammunition, satellites and Star Wars capabilities to shoot and blow up this house that I'm in. So we got to be very conscious about just going out there with this talk about just going into the war without strategy. White supremacy know that their time is up. The question, though, is that how many black folks are going to be willing to fight, and how many black folks are going to be willing to just sit there and lay down and say, "Hey, go ahead and do what you have to do. I'll become a prisoner of war." Okay? You think that we're going to have a lot of women, black women, helping us in this war? All of them talking noise and stuff like that to us, saying we're no good, but yet you've seen that we fought in all of the other wars, Vietnamese and all, and we fought in the Civil War and stuff like that. Was we afraid to die in those wars? No, it took courage, and yes, it was. We were helping to fight with white men. That doesn't mean anything. So our conversation on this show is about, okay, we're going to be now fighting for ourselves, and that's where we are at as well. And it takes economics, it takes education, it takes us to get our young people on code. It was our young people who went out there and stood up against tanks and police officers during the George Floyd situation. It wasn't a lot. I didn't see a lot of black women out there with that. Come on. I did not see it. I seen young black females out there in high school. They were out there, but I didn't see the typical 30, 40, 50-year-old black women out there when we went out there facing these tanks and bombs down in the CNN Center. It was young teenagers, young boys and girls, basically, who went out there, and they was up there, facing these police officers. These police officers were putting tear gas on us. Okay, and so, and this is not just to separate and divide, but you don't die for nothing. You don't go out there and just basically say, okay, I'm going to go out here and just shoot aimlessly and then get shot up. That's not a strategy. You see, the reason why that they were able to win in the Vietnam War is because they had strategy. They said, all right, the white Europeans are coming in. They got all these tanks and bombs. They got all this military machines. They got all of the airplanes they're going to bomb down, and they still got their ass beat by the France, still got their ass whooped. Okay, and they wasn't out there with all that old loud talking. You better shut up. You better not come up on me and blah blah blah. The loudest person that talk and speak that language is the most scariest one. No, you wait until a son of a gun come up on you. Then that's when you attack. The Vietnamese waited until white supremacy came up on them. Then they attacked. Because it was the art of war. They had a strategy. They had a plan. They had a defense mechanism. Okay, these people want to come into our country. They want to fight us. Okay, come on up in here. And they ran the white boys clear across the ocean, the river or land or whatever it is. You see, we don't go out there talking aimlessly and stupidly. Okay, we have a lot of black men. Of course, we understand that we're in a system of oppression. Of course, we are. You think that we don't wake up and understand that? But all of our people are not ready to fight. We still got black folks who love the United States, who don't even think that racism exists. So that's the reason why on my show, it's all about dialogue. I came on talking about the butt-broken Negroes who cry like Kanye West and Van Jones and Roly Poly Martin and Johnathan Capehart, who's up here having sex with these white boys. Those are the Negroes they like to trout out in front of us because that has always been their strategy. And that strategy is not working on us. But we got some of us who think, oh, that strategy is still working for us. And then the system of white supremacy, blah, 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 that's going to be it. Okay? But to attack black men like the white supremacists think they're going to do, you think that we are all going to bow down like our ancestors? You got another thought coming. They got tanks. They got bombs. But Malcolm has taught us. You got to listen to your people like Malcolm and Dr. Amos Wilson, John Henrik Clark. All of them teaches lessons that were learned throughout history that helps the people in the present generation. Those guys, along with many of others like Marcus Garvey, and all of them, even the Bible itself, teaches a lesson throughout history. In the Bible, talking about Exodus? I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. Where you're talking about the lions being in the lions and giants being in the land. The Bible is filled with lessons that to be learned, and that's what men use in war. We use that in war to say this is what happened last time. You see, women don't use that in war because women do not think. They just keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, and they keep saying the same thing over and over and over. Men, it's not like that. Yeah, we can be cowards and bitches and all that if you want us to, but we don't strategize like that. Men basically can sit and talk and strategize and agree on something in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, it takes the average female to discuss along with her friends. We're going to squash beef. We'll squash it within 5 minutes. Women keep talking, and you're going to blah, blah, blah. You better stop. And whoop, 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 whoop. It takes them an hour to conversate, and then after that, that's when they start fighting. We don't do that. When we get ready to fight, once you touch me, it's on. That's how we do it. We don't sit there and just keep on running our mouth. We don't do that. We have a different strategy than women when we talk about war and fighting and all these other things. We got a dialogue. We got to see if all of us on the same page. That's nothing that deity is saying is wrong. We understand that we're in a system of white supremacy. But the ideal here is that we all is facing this. You think that they're going to basically force us to take some vaccines and we're not going to react to that? Come on. You'll have me and a lot of other black men on the 5 o'clock news. You think that they're going to drag us out of our house as men to do that? And you got to understand, these people have weapons. They got guns. They don't even patrol in our neighborhoods unless they have guns in their handles. That right there shows you that they're afraid of us. But when there's an old woman or some girls and stuff like that, they don't even need guns to go over there and slap them around. Look at what the Chinese men did. But when we come in there, they got to have 5 or 6 of them. Black men come in there, they have to have 5 or 6 of them. They have to have the police there. They got to have all of that ammunition when we show up. And they create guns and weapons and knives and tanks and bombs. That's the reason why they are at the advantage and that white supremacy exists. Not because black men are afraid of them. Yeah, okay? So my show is about dialogue. It's about strategy. It's about listening to each other, talking, communicating, disagreeing respectfully, but having the dialogue that we need in order to defeat this beast we call it white supremacy. Now, as far as these guys that they bring on TV, the Johnathan Capehart, there's a reason why the white media brings these folks on. It was Dr. Clay Muhammad who said on a Donahue show that no wise black warrior sat next to the person of the opposition to debate strategy. That's foolish. We're not going to go on. We're not going to be here on any talk show or any kind of podcast that they're listening to us and basically say, yeah, you're right. You're right. We black men, we're not doing anything. We're coons and stuff. Yes, sir. Yeah. It's almost like you're not feeding us anything else now. We recognize that there's black men who are just not going to fight, who are cowards, who are just not going to stand up to the system of white supremacy. Okay? They tried to do it when I was working in so-called corporate America myself. I had white men challenge me.
60 seconds.
Okay? And I stood up to them. Whether that be taking them to a suit, a court, or if they weren't going to touch me. And there was 3 of them. Okay? So we got to stop this like we as black men afraid and saying that we are all afraid. No. You know, when you put us against the wall, now it's time for us to start fighting back. And that's exactly what we're talking about today on the Lawyer Henderson Show. I'll see you next Tuesday, same place, same time. Don't forget to also watch a rerun. Don't Don't forget to watch a rerun of this. The Lawyer Henderson Show will be on YouTube under Buck Broken Negroes versus White Supremacy's Trojan Horse. It will be on YouTube live in less than 2 or 3 hours. Just wait for it to get on there, and you should listen. You can listen to the rebroadcast of the show. I'm your gracious host, Lawyer Henderson. So long, everyone.